Hello students, Jinali Shah welcomes you all on behalf of Saraswat International Academy. Today we will begin with the next part of the chapter, breathing and exchange of gases. So basically students, in the previous video we have studied regarding the various organs participating in the process of breathing, right? We have studied the organs of the human respiratory system. Now in today's lecture, first of all we will study how the process of breathing occurs. So let us begin with the topic mechanism of breathing. So students, the breathing is brought about by alternate expansion and contraction of the thoracic cavity wherein the lungs lie. So how is breathing done? Basically, alternately the thoracic cavity will expand and it will contract. Expand and contract. So by the expansion of the thoracic cavity, by the alternate expansion and contraction of the thoracic cavity, the breathing will be done, and it is in the thoracic cavity where the lungs are located. This leads to the intake of fresh air, which is called inspiration, or also called as inhalation or breathing in, and elimination of foul air called expiration, which is also called exhalation, breathing out respectively. So basically, by the expansion of the thoracic cavity, it leads to the intake of the fresh air. By the expansion of the thoracic cavity, fresh air enters inside, and that process is called inspiration or inhalation or breathing in. And by the contraction, what will happen? The foul air will be eliminated towards the outer side. That process is called expiration or also called exhalation or breathing out. Inspiration and expiration are together referred to as breathing movements. So this inspiration and exhalation together are called as the breathing movement. So we can say the breathing involves two stages. Inspiration, during which the atmospheric air is drawn in, and expiration, by which the alveolar air is released out. The movement of air into and out of the lungs is carried out by creating a pressure gradient between the lungs and the atmosphere. Now we know that air ka movement ho raha hai. There is inhalation of the fresh air and there is the exhalation of the foul air. So there is the movement of the air in and out of the lungs. Now how this movement of the air occurs? So basically the movement of the air occurs due to the pressure gradient, difference in the pressure. So it occurs due to the pressure gradient which is generated between the lungs and the atmosphere. Inspiration can occur if the pressure within the lungs, that is intrapulmonary pressure, is less than the atmospheric pressure. That is, there is a negative pressure in the lungs with respect to the atmospheric pressure. When inspiration will take place? When the intrapulmonary pressure, or you can say the pressure of the air within the lungs, intra, inside, pulmonary, that is lungs. So when the pressure inside the lung is less than the atmospheric pressure. पहले तो आपको ये याद रखना है, the air moves from the region of high pressure to low pressure. The air moves from the region of high pressure to low pressure. So if the pressure within the lungs is less than the atmospheric pressure, यानी atmospheric pressure is more and the intrapulmonary pressure is less. Now I told you the air moves from higher pressure to lower pressure. So of course the air from the outer side will enter inside the lungs. So at that time inspiration takes place. So if the intrapulmonary pressure is less than atmospheric pressure, that is within the lungs there is a negative pressure with respect to the atmospheric pressure. At that time inspiration will take place. Similarly, expiration takes place when intrapulmonary pressure is higher than the atmospheric pressure. So when intrapulmonary pressure is higher than the atmospheric pressure. Okay, when intrapulmonary pressure is higher than the atmospheric pressure, at that time expiration will take place. So, when the pressure within the lungs is less than the atmospheric pressure, at that time inspiration occurs. And when the pressure within the lungs is higher than the atmospheric pressure, at that time the expiration occurs. The diaphragm and the specialized set of muscles which are external and internal intercostals between the ribs helps in generation of such gradient. Now pressure का difference होना ज़रूरी है, right? If there is no pressure difference, यानी कि इंट्रापल्मोनरी प्रेशर और एटमॉस्फेरिक प्रेशर में डिफरेंस नहीं रहेगा तो एयर का मूवमेंट नहीं होगा. So, who creates this pressure gradient? Who is responsible for generation of the pressure difference? So, it is the diaphragm and the muscles of the ribs. Ribs के मसल को intercostal muscles बोलते हैं. Inter, between something. So, between the ribs are the intercostal muscles. Now, these intercostal muscles are located exterior to the ribs as well as they are located interior to the ribs. So, basically the muscles of the ribs which are called as intercostal muscles. Intercostal muscles, दो types, external intercostal muscles and internal intercostal muscles. And another structure responsible is the diaphragm. These are the two main structures which are responsible to generate the pressure gradient. Okay. Now, first of all, let us study regarding the inspiration. Inspiration is initiated by contraction of diaphragm, which increases the volume of the thoracic chamber in the anterior-posterior axis. So, basically, first of all, the diaphragm will contract. Due to the contraction of the diaphragm, basically diaphragm dome shaped structure है. So, वो जब contract होगा, basically it is this shape structure. Now, when this diaphragm contracts, what will happen? It will flatten. As it flattens, the volume of the thoracic cavity increases vertically. What happens? The volume of the thoracic cavity increases vertically. That is anterior-posterior axis. Anterior side पे and posterior side पे the volume of the thoracic cavity increase. So, we can say vertically the volume of the thoracic cavity increases. This is the first thing which happens. Then there will be the contraction of external intercostal muscles which lifts up the ribs and sternum, causing an increase in the volume of the thoracic chamber in dorsoventral axis. Now, by the contraction of the intercostal muscles, these intercostal muscles are the muscles of the ribs. Which intercostal muscles? It is the external intercostal muscles. उसकी वजह से there will be the upward movement of the ribs and the sternum, and due to that the thoracic cavity increases in the dorsoventral axis, यानी आगे से side to side increase will occur in the thoracic chamber. Okay. So, what will happen? Volume of the thoracic cavity increases due to what? Due to the contraction of the diaphragm as well as due to the contraction of the external intercostal muscles. This both activity leads to the overall increase in the thoracic volume. Similarly, there will be increase in pulmonary volume. See, thoracic cavity का volume किसके contraction से increase हो रहा है? By the contraction of diaphragm and the external intercostal muscles. ये दोनों के contraction की वजह से thoracic cavity का volume increase हो रहा है. Now, where are lungs located? The lungs are also located in the thoracic cavity, right? The lungs are attached to the thoracic cavity. They lie within the thoracic cavity. So, अगर thoracic cavity का volume increase हो रहा है, of course, there also increases the volume of the lungs. There is also the increase in the volume of the lungs due to the increase in the volume of the thoracic cavity. So an increase in pulmonary volume decreases the intrapulmonary pressure to less than the atmospheric pressure, which forces the air from outside to move into the lungs, that is inspiration. अभी पल्मोनरी वॉल्यूम इंक्रीज हो रहा है तो प्रेशर क्या होगा, इंट्रापल्मोनरी प्रेशर इट विल डिक्रीज, राइट. So intrapulmonary pressure it is less than the atmospheric pressure. Due to that, the air from outside will be drawn within the lungs. That process is called as inspiration. See students, this is inspiration, air is entering inside. यहाँ पे देखो, आप देख सकते हो कि volume of the thoracic cavity have increased. The ribs and sternum they are stretched, they are raised towards the outer side. And ये vertically भी increase हो रही है volume, okay? Because the diaphragm is contracted. So due to these activities, the air enters inside. See, this is somewhat which is things which are top points which are not mentioned in your book, but it is important. Inspiration is an active process, that is, it requires the energy. It is brought about by the diaphragm muscles and the external intercostal muscles. These muscles are therefore called as the inspiratory muscles. इंस्पिरेशन में कौन से मसल्स कॉन्ट्रैक्ट होते हैं, डायफ्राम के मसल्स एंड एक्सटर्नल इंटरकोस्टल मसल्स. ये दो मसल्स इंस्पिरेशन के टाइम पे कॉन्ट्रैक्ट होते हैं, इसीलिए उसको इंस्पिरेटरी मसल्स बोलते हैं. द डायफ्राम इज कॉन्वेक्स अपवर्ड एंड इट हैज़ पेरिफेरल मसल्स विच इज अटैच्ड टू द रिब्स एंड वर्टिब्रल कॉलम. So what is the shape of the diaphragm? It is a convex shape from the upper side, and this diaphragm is associated with the peripheral muscles, and these peripheral muscles of the diaphragm they are attached to the ribs and vertebral column. This muscle contracts and lowers the diaphragm making it flat. अभी ये पहले diaphragm ऐसा था, जब ये contract होगा तो diaphragm क्या हो जाएगा, थोड़ा flat हो जाएगा. This pushes the abdominal viscera and enlarges the thoracic cavity vertically. अभी diaphragm compress होगा, it is being pushed, okay, it is lowering. Due to the lowering of the diaphragm, उसके नीचे जो भी abdominal viscera, abdominal organs होंगे वो क्या होंगे, what will happen to them? They will basically push downwards, and due to that, thoracic cavity will increase vertically. The external intercostal muscles, they slant forward and downward. Their contraction pulls the ribs and sternum upward and outward. This enlarges the thoracic cavity from front to back as well as from side to side. At this time, the abdominal muscles relax. एब्डोमिनल मसल्स, एब्डोमिनल रीजन में जो मसल्स होते हैं वो रिलैक्स हो गए. अगर वो भी ये टाइम पे कॉन्ट्रैक्ट हो गए तो क्या होगा कि जो एब्डोमिनल ऑर्गन्स नीचे की तरफ गए हैं, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट होने लगेंगे तो उनके प्रॉब्लम्स आएंगे. सो एब्डोमिनल मसल्स क्या करते हैं, रिलैक्स, एंड इट अलाउज द कॉम्प्रेशन ऑफ द एब्डोमिनल ऑर्गन बाय डायफ्राम. डायफ्राम का लोअरिंग हुआ है, फ्लैटनिंग हुआ है, उसकी वजह से एब्डोमिनल ऑर्गन्स क्या हुए हैं, कंप्रेस हुए हैं. ये कंप्रेस एब्डोमिनल ऑर्गन को प्रॉपर रखने के लिए एब्डोमिनल मसल्स को रिलैक्स होना ज़रूरी है. Now, as the lungs are held tightly against the thoracic wall, enlargement of the thoracic cavity results in the expansion of the lungs. This reduces the pressure of the air in the lungs below the atmospheric pressure. Air always moves from a place of higher pressure to a place of lower pressure. Hence, fresh air from outside where pressure is higher rushes into the lungs through the respiratory passage till the pressure in the of the air in lungs becomes equal to the atmospheric pressure. Now air का movement कौन से region में, पहले external nerves, nasal chambers, internal nerves, pharynx, glottis, larynx, trachea, bronchi, bronchioles, alveolar ducts and alveoli. So this is important, the path of the air at the time of the inspiration. Now next process is expiration. The relaxation of diaphragm and internal intercostal muscles returns the diaphragm and sternum to their original or normal positions and reduce the thoracic volume and thereby the pulmonary volume. अभी कोई भी ऑर्गन कॉन्ट्रैक्टेड पोजीशन में नहीं रह सकता है, वो रिलैक्स होगा. सो जो डायफ्राम के मसल्स कॉन्ट्रैक्ट हुए एंड एक्सटर्नल इंटरकोस्टल मसल्स जो कॉन्ट्रैक्टेड पोजीशन में है वो रिलैक्स हो गए. वो जब रिलैक्स हो गए तो फिर से ribs and sternum and diaphragm they all return to their original position. And as they return to their original position, there will be the reduction in the volume of the thoracic cavity. And as the volume of the thoracic cavity reduces, the pulmonary, that is volume within the lungs, will also decrease. Now if the intrapulmonary volume decreases, of course the pressure in the lung will increase. So this leads to the increase in intrapulmonary pressure to slightly above the atmospheric pressure. So intrapulmonary pressure is more than the atmospheric pressure, which causes the expulsion of the air from the lungs. That process is called expiration. See, पहले ribs and sternum कैसे थे, बाहर की तरफ थे. Now they return to their original position. डायफ्राम देखो ऐसा था, अभी ये एकदम ऊपर हो गया, यानी वो रिलैक्स हो गया. And the volume of the thoracic cavity decreases, due to which the air from the lungs will move out, that is expiration. Expiration is normally a passive process, यानी कि जब normal expiration हो रहा है तो वो passive process है. It simply involves the relaxation of inspiratory muscles. Inspiratory muscles क्या करते हैं, relax होते हैं. So if normal breathing के time पे expiration is a passive process, it does not utilizes the energy. The peripheral muscles of the diaphragm relaxes, due to which the abdominal viscera compressed during inspiration push the diaphragm upward, making it convex. So peripheral muscles relax हो गए, यानी diaphragm फिर से अपने original position पे आ जाएंगे, क्योंकि organs जो है abdominal organs जो compressed थे अभी वो फिर से अपने original position पे आ जाएंगे. The external intercostal muscles, they also relax, which brings the ribs and sternum to their original positions. Due to above events, the thoracic cavity becomes smaller. Now, there are certain conditions के forced breathing के time पे some changes occur. So, in forced breathing, as during exercise, the abdominal muscles and internal intercostal muscles come into action, making expiration also an active energy consuming process. Normal breathing में expiration कैसा process है, passive process है. It does not require energy. But at the time of forced breathing, say for example at the time of exercise, ये time पे abdominal muscles and internal intercostal muscles play the important role, and they also contract. And at that time the expiration becomes an active process where there will be the need of the energy. These muscles contracts and decrease the thoracic cavity further. Already क्या हुआ है कि inspiratory muscles relax हुए हैं, जिसकी वजह से thoracic cavity smaller हो चुकी है. Now abdominal muscles and internal intercostal muscles, they also contract, and they further decrease the thoracic cavity. The contraction of the abdominal muscles presses the abdominal viscera against the diaphragm, bulging it further upward. Okay, abdominal muscles की contraction की वजह से जो abdominal organs होते हैं वो क्या करते हैं, diaphragm को थोड़ा और ऊपर की तरफ लेकर जाते हैं. ऑलरेडी वो कॉन्वेक्स ऐसा था, बट एब्डोमिनल ऑर्गन्स के कॉन्ट्रैक्शन की वजह से ये डायफ्राम थोड़ा और ऊपर की तरफ चला जाएगा, विच शॉर्टन्स द थोरैकिक कैविटी वर्टिकली. क्लियर? नाउ द एब्डोमिनल मसल्स आर पार्शियली इनएक्टिव ड्यूरिंग नॉर्मल ब्रीदिंग बट बिकम एक्टिव ड्यूरिंग कफिंग एंड स्नीजिंग. Contraction of the internal intercostal muscle moves the ribs downward and inward. अभी internal intercostal muscles भी contract हो गए, जिसकी वजह से ribs they move towards the inward side, अंदर की तरफ आएगी, जिसकी वजह से there will be the reduction in the thoracic cavity from back to front as well as from side to side. The abdominal muscles and intercostal muscles, they are called expiratory muscles because ये muscles contract कब करते हैं, at the time of expiration, and hence they are called as the expiratory muscles. All around decrease in the thoracic cavity reduces the lungs and raises the pressure of the air in the lungs above the atmospheric pressure. Due to all these processes, thoracic cavity reduces. As the thoracic cavity reduces, volume of the lungs will also reduce. As the volume of the lungs reduces, the pressure within the lung will increase above the atmospheric pressure. This pressure in lungs pushes out the foul air from the lungs until the pressure in the lungs falls to that of the atmosphere. On its return journey, the air again passes through the respiratory passage. Inspiration का जो passage था उसका opposite होगा, that is expiration. That is from alveoli to alveolar duct to bronchioles, bronchi, trachea, larynx, glottis, pharynx, internal nares, nasal chambers and external nares. So that is regarding the process of expiration. Now these 3 points are general points. We have the ability to increase the strength of inspiration and expiration with the help of the additional muscles in abdomen. Which are those muscles? Internal intercostal muscles and abdominal muscles. On an average, a healthy human being breathes 12 to 16 times per minute. So in a minute, how many breaths are there? 12 to 16 times. 12 to 16 times means 12 to 16 times inspiration and 12 to 16 times expiration. The volume of the air involved in breathing movement can be estimated using a spirometer, which helps in clinical assessment of the pulmonary function. Now breathing movements के time पे volume of the air क्या है उसको estimate करना है, then it can be checked using spirometer, and these volumes play the important role in the pulmonary function, assessment of the pulmonary functions. Lungs का functioning प्रॉपर हो रहा है या नहीं, that can be checked by using the spirometer, which measures the volume of the air during the breathing movements. Now let us study the new topic, that is respiratory volumes and capacities. So first of all, what is respiratory volumes? So the quantities of the air the lungs can receive, hold or expel under different conditions are called pulmonary or lung or respiratory volumes. How much air the lung can receive, how much air the lung can hold, or how much air the lungs can expel, that is remove out under the different situations, what are it called as? It is called as pulmonary volumes. And the next term is the capacities. So pulmonary capacities refers to a combination of 2 or more pulmonary volumes. So the sum of 2 or more pulmonary volumes is called as pulmonary capacities. So first of all, let us study regarding the volumes. So first one is tidal volume. The volume of the air inspired or expired during a normal respiration. नॉर्मल रेस्पिरेशन, नॉर्मल ब्रीदिंग के टाइम पे कितनी एयर अंदर आ रही है या कितनी एयर बाहर जा रही है, व्हाट इज दैट कॉल्ड एज टाइडल वॉल्यूम. It is approximately 500 ml, that is a healthy person can inspire or expire approximately 6000 to 8000 ml of air per minute. ये कैसे कैलकुलेशन आया? ओके 1 मिनट में कितने ब्रीथ्स होते हैं? 15 to 12 to 16. एक ब्रीथ में कितनी वॉल्यूम है? 500 ml. सो 12 into 500 to 16 into 500. So this brings about 600 to 6000 to 8000 ml of the air per minute. Okay, it is not times, it is the ml. Okay, now next is inspiratory reserve volume. Additional volume of air a person can inspire by forcible inspiration. नॉर्मल इंस्पिरेशन के अलावा और कितना एयर इनहेल हो सकता है? सो फोर्सिबल इंस्पिरेशन, एडिशनल वॉल्यूम ऑफ द एयर inhaled by the person by forcible inspiration is called inspiratory reserve volume, that is IRV, which averages up to 2500 ml to 3000 ml. Expiratory reserve volume, additional volume of air a person can expire after forcible expiration. सो बेसिकली नॉर्मल एक्सपिरेशन के अलावा और कितना एयर पर्सन एक्सेल कर सकता है? एडिशनल वॉल्यूम ऑफ एयर अ पर्सन कैन एक्सेल बाय फोर्सिबल एक्सपिरेशन इज कॉल्ड एज एक्सपिरेटरी रिजर्व वॉल्यूम और ERV, whose value is approximately 1000 ml to 1100 ml. Residual volume. So what is residual volume? Volume of air remaining in the lungs even after forcible expiration. फोर्सिबल एक्सपिरेशन कर दिया फिर भी थोड़ी बहुत एयर लंग्स में रहती है, सो दैट इज कॉल्ड एज द रेसिड्यूअल वॉल्यूम whose value is approximately 1100 to 1200 ml. Now what is the purpose of this residual air? Residual air enables the lung to continue the exchange of gases even after the maximum exhalation or on holding the breath. ये जो air ऑलवेज जो लंग्स में रहती है वो काम क्या करती है? सो इट अलाउज द कंटिन्यूअस एक्सचेंज ऑफ गैसेस. से फॉर एग्जांपल मैक्सिमम एक्सलेशन कर दिया, फिर भी अगर एयर नहीं होती तो क्या एक्सचेंज ऑफ गैसेस पॉसिबल होता? नहीं पॉसिबल होता. सपोज यू आर होल्डिंग अ ब्रीथ, ये टाइम पे भी exchange of gases continue होना चाहिए. So at that time the residual volume plays the very important role. In other words, exchange of gases goes on in lungs uninterrupted during inspiration as well as expiration. आप जब inhalation और exhalation कर रहे हो तब तो air अंदर आ रही है, बाहर जा रही है, तो ये जो टाइम कंज्यूमिंग प्रोसेस है वहाँ पे अगर एयर ऑलरेडी थोड़ी लंग्स में अकोमोडेटेड होती तो कंटिन्यू क्या होता है? एक्सचेंज ऑफ गैसेस रहेगा. सो दैट वाज रिगार्डिंग पल्मोनरी वॉल्यूम्स. नाउ पल्मोनरी कैपेसिटी. So by adding up a few respiratory volumes, one can derive various pulmonary capacities which can be used in clinical diagnosis. So first is inspiratory capacity or IC. Total volume of air a person can inspire after normal expiration. ओके, सो टोटल पर्सन कितनी एयर अंदर ले सकता है? कितनी ले सकता है? सो नॉर्मल एयर प्लस एक्स्ट्रा एयर. सो नॉर्मल इज टीवी, राइट, दैट इज टाइडल वॉल्यूम. और एक्स्ट्रा जो हम लोग इनहेल कर सकते हैं वो कैसा है? IRV, इंस्पिरेटरी रिजर्व वॉल्यूम. सो इट इंक्लूड्स टाइडल वॉल्यूम एंड इंस्पिरेटरी रिजर्व वॉल्यूम. Then expiratory capacity, total volume of air a person can expire after normal inspiration which includes tidal volume and expiratory. हम कितनी total air expire कर सकते? कितनी? So one is tidal volume and another one is the forcible expiration जिसको हम बोलते हैं expiratory reserve volume. So the sum of TV plus ERV is called as the expiratory reserve volume. Functional residual capacity, volume of air that will remain in the lungs after normal expiration. So कितनी एयर लंग्स के अंदर रह सकती है? सो इट इज़ नॉर्मल एक्सपिरेशन के बाद. सो इट इंक्लूड्स ERV दैट इज एक्सपिरेटरी रिजर्व वॉल्यूम प्लस RV दैट इज रेसिडुअल वॉल्यूम. नाउ वाइटल कैपेसिटी, द मैक्सिमम वॉल्यूम ऑफ एयर अ पर्सन कैन ब्रीथ इन आफ्टर अ फोर्स्ड एक्सपिरेशन. कितनी एयर पर्सन अंदर ले सकता है? सो इट इंक्लूड्स ERV, TV plus IRV और द मैक्सिमम वॉल्यूम ऑफ एयर अ पर्सन कैन ब्रीथ आउट आफ्टर अ फोर्स्ड इंस्पिरेशन. Vital capacity is the amount of air which one can inhale after maximum effort and also exhale with maximum effort. It is equal to the sum of TV plus IRV plus ERV. Total lung capacity, that is TLC, total volume of air accommodated in the lungs at the end of forced inspiration. So कितनी forced inspiration के बाद और कितनी एयर अंदर रह सकती है? that is total lung capacity which includes RV plus ERV plus TV and IRV, or it is vital capacity plus residual volume. So that is regarding the lung capacities. Now exchange of gases, how the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide takes place. So alveoli are the primary sites of exchange of gases. कहाँ पे exchange of gases होगा? alveoli. Exchange of gases also occur between blood and tissues. alveoli में तो होगा, alveoli में से वो कहाँ पे जाएगा? blood, and blood में से वो कहाँ पे जाएगा? it goes into the tissues. So alveoli में from alveoli to blood and from blood to tissue. So these are the exchange sites. Oxygen and carbon dioxide are exchanged in these sites by simple diffusion, mainly based on pressure or concentration gradient. किसका exchange होता है? ऑक्सीजन एंड कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड. कैसे होगा? बाय सिंपल डिफ्यूजन. एंड ये डिफ्यूजन किसके ऊपर बेस्ड है? आइदर ऑन द कॉन्सेंट्रेशन ग्रेडियंट और प्रेशर ग्रेडियंट. ओके, Solubility of the gases as well as the thickness of the membranes involved in diffusion are some important factors that can affect the rate of diffusion. So what will affect the rate of diffusion? The rate of diffusion is affected by solubility of the gases. What is the how the gases are soluble, and another thing is what is the thickness of जहाँ पे diffusion होने वाला है वो डिफ्यूजन के टाइम पे मेम्ब्रेन की थिकनेस क्या है. अगर मेम्ब्रेन ज़्यादा थिक होगी तो डिफ्यूजन जल्दी नहीं होगा, मेम्ब्रेन थिन होगी तो ईजियर डिफ्यूजन ऑफ गैसेस होगा. प्रेशर कंट्रीब्यूटेड बाय एन इंडिविजुअल गैस इन द मिक्सचर ऑफ गैसेस इज कॉल्ड पार्शियल प्रेशर. मिक्सचर ऑफ गैसेस में इंडिविजुअल गैस का कितना प्रेशर है दैट इज कॉल्ड एज पार्शियल प्रेशर, and it is represented as PO2 for oxygen and PCO2 for carbon dioxide. Partial pressure of these two gases in atmospheric air and the two sides of diffusion are given in the table. See, these are the partial pressures of oxygen and carbon dioxide at different parts involved in diffusion in comparison to those in atmosphere. So say for example, atmospheric air में oxygen का प्रेशर कितना है 149, एल्वियोलाई में कितना है 104. सो एयर का प्रेशर बाहर ज़्यादा है अंदर कम है, सो अंदर आएगी. डीऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड में सिर्फ 40 है, ऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड में कितना है 95. सो एल्वियोलाई में से वो कहाँ पे जा रहा है ब्लड में, एंड ब्लड टिश्यूज़ में कितना है 40. सो ब्लड में से वो एयर कहाँ पे जा रही है इन द टिश्यूज़. नाउ दैट ऑफ कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड, एटमॉस्फेरिक एयर में कहाँ कितना है ओनली 0.3, एल्वियोलाई में कितना है 40. सो एल्वियोलाई में से कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड क्या हो रहा है बाहर. डीऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड में कितना है ज़्यादा है, सो डीऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड में से एल्वियोलाई में वो जाएगा. ओके, एंड टिश्यू ऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड में कितना है 40 एंड टिश्यूज़ में 45. सो टिश्यूज़ में से वो कहाँ पे चला जाएगा ब्लड में. सो इट इज़ अपोजिट, यहाँ पे ऐसा ग्रेडियंट जनरेट हो रहा है इन ऑक्सीजन का इन दिस मैनर. ओके, दिस इज अ डायग्राम विच शोज द एक्सचेंज ऑफ गैसेज एट एल्वियोलस एंड द बॉडी टिश्यूज विथ ब्लड एंड ट्रांसपोर्ट ऑफ ऑक्सीजन एंड कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड. सी इंस्पायर्ड एयर, दिस इज द एल्वियोलर एयर जहाँ पे PO2 एंड PCO2 दिया है. ओके, इंस्पायर्ड एयर फिर कहाँ पे जाएगी पल्मोनरी आर्टरीज, एंड देखो ये पल्मोनरी आर्टरीज का डायग्राम है. दिस आर द सिस्टमिक वेन्स विच कैरी द डीऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड, एंड दिस इज द पल्मोनरी वेन के जहाँ पे ऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड होता है वो जाएगा सिस्टमिक आर्टरीज में विच कैरी द ऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड. यहाँ पे बॉडी टिश्यूज है, एक्सचेंज होगा, ऑक्सीजन अंदर आएगा, कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड बाहर जाएगा. वो कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड सिस्टमिक वेन से पल्मोनरी आर्टरी में जाएगा एंड देन इनटू द एल्वियोलाई it will be expired outside. Okay, now the data given in the table clearly indicates the concentration gradient for oxygen from alveoli to blood and blood to tissues. alveoli से blood and blood से tissue तक हम concentration gradient देख सकते हैं. Similarly, a gradient is present for carbon dioxide in the opposite direction, that is from tissues to blood and blood to alveoli. Oxygen grade concentration gradient ऑक्सीजन का कहाँ पे है एल्वियोलाई टू ब्लड एंड ब्लड टू टिश्यूज, वेरस कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड का अपोजिट डायरेक्शन में है टिश्यूज टू ब्लड एंड ब्लड टू एल्वियोलाई. As the solubility of carbon dioxide is 20 to 25 times higher than that of oxygen, the solubility of oxygen is less. It is more for carbon dioxide. It is 20 to 25 times more than oxygen. The amount of carbon dioxide that can diffuse through diffusion per unit difference in partial pressure is much higher as that compared to that of oxygen. हमने देखा डिफ्यूजन के लिए दो फैक्टर्स इंपॉर्टेंट है. वन इज solubility of gases and another one is the thickness of the diffusion membrane. Solubility किस है ज़्यादा? It is of carbon dioxide, and hence carbon dioxide can diffuse at much higher rate compared to the carbon oxygen. The diffusion membrane, अभी ये diffusion membrane 3 layers की बनी है. So which are those 3 layers? The thin squamous epithelium of alveoli, that is alveoli का outer epithelium which is made up of squamous epithelium. The endothelium of alveolar capillaries. So endothelium, it is the epithelium which lines the blood vessel. सो सपोज ये एल्वियोलाई है, राइट ये एल्वियोलाई के सराउंडिंग क्या होता है, दिस इज द एल्वियोलाई, दिस इज द ब्लड वेसल्स, ओके। ये एल्वियोलाई में क्या होता है, स्क्वेमस एपिथेलियम। अभी ये जो ब्लड कैपिलरीज है उसका भी एपिथेलियल लेयर, ओके, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज एंडोथेलियम। एंड द बेसमेंट सब्सटेंस, ये दोनों के बीच में सी स्क्वेमस एपिथेलियम का जो लेयर है एल्वियोलाई, वो सेल्स भी बेसमेंट मेम्ब्रेन पे हो गए, एंड एपिथेलियम ऑफ द ब्लड वेसल विल ऑल्सो रेस्ट ऑन द बेसमेंट मेम्ब्रेन। सो the basement substance which is composed of thin basement membrane supporting the squamous epithelium and basement membrane surrounding the endothelial cells of the capillaries in between them. So basically ये क्या हो गया, ये alveoli हुआ, ये blood vessel हुआ. So ये first layer हुआ, ये second layer हुआ and ये middle layer that is the third layer, ये दोनों के बीच में का. So it is made up of how many layers? 3 layers. Though it is made up of 3 layers, its thickness is much less than a millimeter, right? Therefore, all the factors in our body are favorable for diffusion of oxygen from alveoli to tissues and carbon dioxide from tissues to alveoli. See, देखो, this is a diagram given of an diffusion membrane. ये alveoli है, ये alveoli के कौन से cells है? Squamous epithelium, वो भी 1 layer thick है. देन दिस इज अ ब्लड कैपिलरी, ये ब्लड कैपिलरी का कौन सा सेल है? एंडोथेलियम. अभी ये येलो कलर, ये दोनों के बीच में का क्या है? बेसमेंट सब्सटेंस. सो इसकी थिकनेस इट इज लेस देन द मिलीमीटर. सो ऑल द फैक्टर्स विच आर फेवरेबल फॉर diffusion are present in the body, and hence diffusion of oxygen occurs from alveoli to tissues and of carbon dioxide from tissues to alveoli. So that is how the exchange of gases takes place. So I end my lecture here. In next lecture we will be studying how the transportation of gases will take place. Thank you students.